This episode is brought to you by HelloFresh. For $80 off your first month of HelloFresh, go to HelloFresh.com/CAGcast80 and enter CAGcast80.
Welcome to a very special CAGcast. That's all I got.
That's it?
That's how we're doing openings now.
I just got done explaining that this is the introduction.
I'm still recording. Should I still be recording?
This is the introduction to episode 600.
Intro.
Right.
This is the intro.
This is it.
This is how we're starting.
Were you not clear when I said welcome to a very special?
I'm very confused
I literally
right now.
said this. I can't do the normal introduction because this is a very special episode.
I thought you were just doing that thing up top. But hey, whatever floats your role.
and it
I'm
literally
here
says
for
on the
you.
outline, unorthodox opening.
I know. I thought that was like a Jew thing.
That would be orthodox opening.
Oh, again, I get easily confused.
All right.
Well, I think we knocked this opening out of the park for
I
600.
think it's great.
Everybody can tell how special it is.
It's very special.
Well, so yeah, this is the official introduction to our 600th episode, which was recorded this weekend at Long Island Retro in wonderful Garden Sydney, Australia.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was they flew us out to Sydney. I mean, it's a big show this year.
Yep.
You know,
I still have a wallaby in my pants.
yeah, the 20-hour flight was rough, but it was worth it. No, of course, they flew Shipwreck out here to Long Island, and we
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, I got to meet the latest member of the Shipwreck clan, Dash, which and
Yes.
Wombat did too, of course.
Yes, you got to drool on both of you.
He did, and I think he enjoyed all of our company.
Yes, that's fair to say because he enjoys everybody's company.
Oh, I felt
very friendly.
special.
Well, no, Cheapy got a hug immediately once Dash got out of the car. Just ran right up to him and gave a hug.
Right, that was cool. I wasn't expecting
got
Wombat,
the
it took
opposite.
a few minutes.
like 5 seconds for Wombat, and then drool everywhere.
And then drool everywhere. I will say this: it was really the most. I think the most impressive thing of the whole weekend was that all of our kids actually did seem to get along with each other as a group.
Why wouldn't they?
Well, you know, you get that 5 kids together for what essentially was 2 full days, and at no point did any child run up to their parents crying, saying "so and so did such and such." That's a pretty big feat.
I don't think we should be patting ourselves on the back that much.
I wasn't patting us on the back. I was patting our children.
I demand excellence from everybody I associate with.
Well, no wonder you're disappointed all the time.
Now, there was some good excellence this weekend.
Yes, there was.
Dash, I gotta say, Dash lives up to his name though, because he's just running everywhere and doing everything and eating everything because he's got to refuel after running everywhere and doing everything.
And eating everything.
We went to Benihana and he crushed it at Benihana. It was pretty impressive. I think he ate more than all the other kids, I would say.
But he didn't outdrink some women.
Your woman, especially. I would say.
She didn't drink. She wasn't drinking alone.
Right. I did a unscientific survey about the percentages on that super fishbowl of a drink.
Oh, I'm sure it was quite lopsided.
It might have been lopsided. But that was fun. We did is that an annual thing, the Benihana dinner? Have we not?
I thought so.
I think we haven't skipped a year on that.
No, we have not.
It was that was I think that was my favorite Wombat moment of the weekend.
What happened with Wombat there?
Yeah, what did I do?
At Benihana?
That was so amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just.
I've forgotten.
Oh,
I'm like, what did I do?
it was just fun.
Was it sitting in between the two of you? Was that making that mistake?
At one point, I realized that Wombat was just because he was sitting between me and Ship, and we were just making fun of him. He was just in the middle of us as we were making fun of him in subtle ways, and I realized it was too much. I felt bad actually, and I had to call attention to it and stop. But it's not going to stop me right now.
I don't even remember making fun of Wombat.
And I gave you a scallop.
We weren't really making fun of. We weren't making fun of him.
I shared my food with you.
We were busting his chops a little bit.
Yeah,
a little bit. Admit it, Chip. A little bit. You were a little bit.
There might have been some ribbing going on. I don't know.
A little bit.
Okay.
Anyway, my favorite
There was
wombat.
no kazoos involved, so
No. It was nothing like that. But my favorite wombat moment was we were enjoying the introduction, our first courses to our delicious meal at Benihana, and I see that Wombat gets summoned over to his son's area of the table, and this is the first year where we just put all the kids on one side of the table rather, and
it might as well have been a whole other side of the restaurant, but yes.
but this is the year we were able to do it. Anyway, Wombat gets called over to his son to come over to the whole other side of the Benihana table, walks around, and he comes back with his son's soup. And he's like, oh, he was complaining about too much soup in his area. And
that was his words. Too many bowls. He said,
too many bowls in my area. And
there are too many bowls in my area.
Right. And I laughed because it was funny.
Because it's a funny statement.
It was hilarious. And so I laughed. And of course, I don't think Wombat's so upset because he's eating the soup now, and the soup is good.
It's damn good soup.
You don't want to waste the soup. They don't fault you at all. But Wombat finishes off the soup, and I swear, less than 5 minutes later, Wombat's like looking around angrily, and he's like, "Where's the waitress to take away all these bowls?" And he's getting very frustrated, and I just
too many bowls in my area.
And then the bowls started coming towards me and you, Cheapy.
Yeah, because I had to move the bowls out of my area.
He created a pathway.
I created all
the plates and bowls into our area, so that he had a pathway from the grill to him of the food.
It was pretty awesome. I've thought of that pretty much nonstop since the meal. The bowls.
I don't know if that's ribbing him. That's honestly what happened.
What happened, and B, it's really not that terrible a thing that happened.
No. I'm saying that's my favorite Wombat moment. I'm not saying I didn't make fun.
Bowls out of my area and into my friend's area.
Yeah. It's all awesome.
After you guys made fun of me for 25 minutes.
That was after, but.
No, that was before.
I'm sure we didn't stop making fun of you after that.
That's true. It's true too. So really, it's kind of like a fair play.
It was just great
scenario.
that all of a sudden, like I look down and Wombat's drink is just in the exact center of me, basically, like directly in front of me.
My water?
Yeah, your big water was right in front of me, and because I had in Benihana got like the bowl.
Well, to be fair, they had squeezed that.
It was
seat.
fine. It was fine.
I was in the seat.
It was fine, and I would
thrust in there.
Wombat, I will sit next to you at Benihana anytime,
any
place.
Any place at Benihana.
You can take that to the bank, Wombat.
I appreciate that. That's very nice of you to say.
Yeah, it was a very fun meal, and
it was.
And I
gave you a scallop.
That's good. I gave you my Chateaubriand
steak. Yes, because you didn't want to.
I can't finish it. I can never finish it all.
I know.
I ordered the same thing as Wombat did, so he couldn't pick off my plate.
I could have. I just didn't.
Did you do that at brunch too?
No, I didn't have anything from Shipwreck's Place.
No. I mean, order the same thing as Wombat.
No, we got two different things.
No, we got different things.
Yeah, and I liked it. It was really fun. It was a lot of fun watching Dash watch the chef and all the fire. And he's just being mesmerized by it. And then looking at Mom, like, did you see that? And then looking over at Ship's daughter with her, hands over her ears because the chef is banging the...
Well, she had just come off a week of like fire safety camp as well.
It's like PTSD.
Right.
At Benihana. I know, I get that. So she's like, is she ready to like stop, drop, and roll as soon as the guy starts cooking the shrimp?
She was asking if she should throw water on the fire.
I would like to go back to that restaurant again. So I'm glad she didn't do that. That was pretty fun. So yeah, that was the night before we went to LI Retro. And then at LI Retro, of course, we had our 600th CAGcast, which you're about to hear. And while we were recording, the kids got to do the costume contest.
They sure did.
And our kids, Wombat, planned out their costumes together.
Yes. Sabrina is a little bit of a dictator, I think, when it comes to the costume planning.
No, it's good.
Yeah,
You need that. You need somebody to be organized.
She's definitely the strong leader when it came to that. I think she pretty much told Ty what to do, what to wear, when to wear it, and how to show up.
Yep.
And he did, and they won. So everybody wins, right?
They won the best dramatic performance.
Yes, they came in, I guess, what would be essentially second place overall or something.
Well, I bought Ty's costume 100% at Amazon.
Yeah, so that kind of,
I blew it. Well,
Yeah,
we won anyway.
You did win something, yeah. Sabrina made her costume.
I told Ty he could be anybody he wants to be as long as I don't have to make anything.
Well, in our house, Sabrina does the sewing and the cutting and the she does it all. And the makeup and the hair.
Was she Zelda? I don't know. Who was she?
Yeah, she was Zelda.
Okay.
We did buy the pointy ears. Yes, he was Link and she was Zelda. That was the whole point.
I didn't know. I'm not familiar with all the outfits. She was wearing a white dress, and I just don't recall.
She had the Triforce on her arms.
Okay, see, I didn't see
If you look at the cutout things on her arms, the Triforce was on those.
Right.
And she had the braids and the ears.
Okay, see, I didn't know.
And she had the lyre, the harp.
Would you call me?
Yes, lyre with a Y.
Oh. No, I just don't know a lot about Zelda.
And the lyre had the Triforce on it too, I believe.
Yeah. Link, I know. I'm familiar with Link.
Yeah, well, that's why she wanted to do the couple's costume.
Right.
To make it a little bit clearer. Like, basically, your son was an accessory to her.
It worked, and it worked. Look, all it cost was $100 at Amazon and my son.
Jeez.
And we bought and it's when we're going to use that for Halloween. Obviously, it's a great. That's with the sword and the shield. It's a great costume.
Yeah, no, it was a great costume, and I'm glad they won. I like Dash's costume a lot too.
That was the best.
He was Frogger.
Yes,
with the tie.
Yes,
and the briefcase.
Yes,
and the alligator to jump on.
And the watch.
And didn't they win like cutest kids or whatever?
They so Dash dressed up like Frogger. And the Frogger that's on the side of the arcade machine, like the box art Frogger, where he's corporate businessman Frogger. And Emmeline dressed up as Kyrie from Kingdom Hearts,
which was an awesome costume too.
Thank you, Amazon and Etsy. I think
the giant keyblade.
Yes, she had the keyblade.
Very serious.
She looked like, I looked at pictures at her and she looked like she was like 5 years older than she is.
Yes. You can see what she's going to look like soon.
Right. That was a little bit scary, but they both won judges pick, I think. Right. I think that was what it was called.
Sure.
They won as well. Well deserved.
Everybody's a winner.
My kids.
Except for Elliot, who didn't want to dress up. He just wanted to play pinball, which, I can respect that.
Mission accomplished.
Exactly. He did enter the pinball contest. He did not win.
That's got to be the coolest venue for a pinball arcade that I've ever seen.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Inside a hangar with jets, fighter jets in it.
And there was more pinball machines on the other side by the, the space capsule.
Nice.
The actual space capsule that went into space. The lunar module. That's what I want to call it.
I didn't make it over there this time.
Yeah. That's where the Deadpool table was.
That's a good table.
I didn't even know there was a whole bunch of stuff over there.
They had Deadpool over there. They had AC/DC over there.
Did they have Guns N' Roses?
No.
They did not, but they did have, why am I blanking on the name of the
I don't know that
band?
one.
2 Minutes to Midnight. Iron Maiden. I had to think about that.
Nice.
I'm old. I'm losing it for reals.
I didn't buy anything this year.
I did not buy anything either. I know Shipwreck bought something.
I bought Magician Lord for the Neo Geo.
Neo Geo.
Yep.
I like when you buy things
nice
I like when you buy things that I know what they are.
Good.
That's a good game.
Can you tell me what the Megazord is that my son bought?
No.
Okay.
It looked cool, though. It looked like a big robot
that
you could just throw around.
Yep.
and throw. That's going to feel really good in your shins, I feel.
Right. My wife had a good negotiating plan on that. Like Dash, like it was sitting there on the floor with all these toys at one vendor. And so Dash, of course, just started like picking the stuff out of there. Like, 'cause he's 2 years old and he sees robots.
And it's at eye level.
Right. It's eye level. So like he's carrying this thing around for like 5 minutes. And so Mrs. Shipwreck is like, asked the vendor like how much the thing is. And he's like, $50. And she's like, oh, we're not getting that. And he's like, $40. I'm like, no, put that back. And she eventually like got him down to like $20, which I still feel is like
that's still overpriced.
Kind of pricey, but
I would have been like $5.
Come on, you got to help the economy.
Right.
The used Megazord economy.
Exactly.
How much does a used Megazord go for? I don't know.
I would know.
It was pretty big though, I feel.
Whatever. You should get him a new Megazord
mega.
for.
It was mega for sure. Yeah, it's not as big as my Devastator.
No. I still need to clean out the battery compartment and put new batteries in it to see what that does then.
Yeah.
I know nothing about Power Rangers. I've watched like 2 episodes ever, I think.
Right. It's
My son had like a bunch of them that he got because my nephews, his cousins, are much older than Elliot. They're in their mid-20s now, and they had every Power Ranger when they were kids, and they gave them all to Elliot when they moved out of the house. So we have those, I think, still maybe somewhere, but I couldn't tell you a thing about them.
I didn't like the campiness of the show. I felt like shows like that should be serious and not.
You were way too old.
Whoa! Slow down.
I feel like I was already too old when this came out.
Well, that would explain it.
I think it just came out slightly too late for us. And
it's also pretty dumb.
We already had Voltron.
Right. Voltron is serious. We don't need this nonsense. Bad overacting.
The robots are cool, though. I'll give them that.
Sure. That's about it. Even everything else is, I didn't like it.
I mean, the Power Rangers basically look like the Voltron people, too, though. Like, the look of all of it is, I get it. Like, it's kind of cool.
Right. Yeah. Past, I was too mature. I was probably still watching Inspector Gadget, though.
Sure. Now, that's a mature show for mature people.
There's a deep subtext.
Let's not get into this
with
again.
Taste. We should quickly get into. I played Ghost Recon, not Ghost Recon. I played Rainbow Six with Wombat last
Because
night.
people want to know. That's breaking news.
It did not go well. I'll say that.
Why not?
And I don't blame Shipwreck for not having a good time. So apparently the copy of the game that Shipwreck bought, which again,
this doesn't matter to me, but go ahead, Wombat.
Which I think was $1.50. Is that what you spent?
So, at most.
Yeah. So I guess the reason why it's $1.50 is that it doesn't come with any operators at all.
Oh, nice. That's what you want.
You can only play as the rookie out of the box. So you don't get like any cool gadgets or any,
it wouldn't have mattered.
That makes you unique.
Right.
Wouldn't have mattered.
It wouldn't have mattered.
I'm not saying it would have mattered, but it is sort of like, kind of the hook of the game.
Right.
Wombat was really trying to sell me on this while we were playing. I'm like, you just need to play a few more rounds and then you can unlock this guy.
No, because we played 2 rounds and I knew you were done and I was like, okay, this is good. I think maybe if you played it alone and kind of learned it a little bit better, you might enjoy it, but I'm not going to force you to.
It's Counter-Strike.
It's fine. Whatever. I've never played Counter-Strike.
He doesn't like those games.
I don't like those games.
Whatever.
And I realize I have no problem with the quality of that game. It just it's like the opposite of adrenaline for me.
Right. He's looking for real sports, not esports. Like these rounds and teams in online games. It doesn't do it for him.
Whatever.
No, I'm glad. I am happy that you play that game and like that game. And I'm also happy that I played a couple rounds of it. So now I can prove that that's not for me.
That's fine.
Right.
Nothing like G.I. Joe.
Well, that's because you didn't get to use any of the G.I. Joe characters.
They're all just characters in black outfits.
They are not. That is not true.
They just kept on showing up. You got the helicopter guy in a black outfit. Why do we have a helicopter guy in our team? There's no vehicles. We're like we're in a small house.
G.I. Joe would have a helicopter.
In the parking
guy.
lot. It's in the parking lot.
For the parking lot, yeah. I tried to get on one of those snowmobiles and get the hell out of there, but no dice.
Oh, poor Wombat. Well, that's relevant to the show because we do talk about Rainbow Six somehow on the 600th episode. Let's thank Ryan and LI Retro for having us there every year. It's a pretty fantastic opportunity.
Thanks, guys.
It's pretty great.
Thank you. I was taking a drink.
Yeah. It's great that our families get together and
Thank you to the listener that brought us wine as well. I don't have his name in front of me, but
we drank that.
Shipwreck drank it. I saw him.
it's good.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I put it on Twitter.
That bottle is gone.
Oh, really? Wow.
Mhm.
Yeah. Let's also thank HelloFresh. Get easy seasonal recipes and pre-measured ingredients delivered right to your door. All you have to do is cook and enjoy. There's something for everyone, from family recipes to calorie smart and vegetarian and fun menu series like Hall of Fame and craft burgers. Burgers. HelloFresh is flexible and fits your lifestyle. Add extra meals to your weekly order as well as yummy sides like garlic bread and cookie dough and easily change your delivery days, food preferences, and skip a week whenever you need. I know that Wombat just skipped this week. He told me right before the show.
That is true.
It is true. These bullet points that I'm reading are true facts. It is also true that tonight I cooked the cheesy beef tostadas with green pepper, tomato salsa, and hot sauce crema. And it was nice because Ty had a friend over, and because we get the family pack, it comes with 4 meals. Usually I just, pick up the slack and eat most of that 4th meal. But Ty had a friend staying, playing this afternoon, and I offered him tostadas, and he was like, "Yes, hell yes." And the short version of it is we ate all the tostadas, and they were delicious. Hey, Wombat.
Yes.
Tell me your favorite HelloFresh recipe.
I really like anything with poblano peppers. The stuffed poblanos are always a delight. I also really like the barramundi fish.
I just had that.
It's so good.
I had that this week.
See? So you know I'm right.
Well, for $80 off your first month of HelloFresh, go to HelloFresh.com/CAGcast80 and enter CAGcast80. That's $80 off your first month of HelloFresh. Go to HelloFresh.com/CAGcast80 and enter CAGcast80. Well, with that said and done, I think it's time to play the 600th episode. So thanks everybody for listening to us all these years. What else should I say, Wombat? What else should you say, Wombat?
I was going to say bread's not done.
Oh, you didn't want to say like some extra emotional something or another? You don't want to start crying?
No.
All right, then. Enjoy the show, everybody. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to CAGcast episode number 600! Woo! Wow. I'll clap. I'm your host, GBD, here in Long Island, New York. As always, I'm joined by the man who's been here since the very beginning and who basically started this whole thing, Wombat. More cheering, more cheering. And also Third Wheel Shipwreck.
Hooray!
Too much. Well, thanks for coming, everybody. This is really exciting. I'm glad that we could do episode 600 here and celebrate with you. It really got me thinking about how this whole thing got started. And I thought, for this show...
Don't cry.
Don't cry. I think, if you ask the right questions and act the right way, you could probably get me to cry. It's not that hard. Wombat
Not a chance.
Not a chance. But I'm a sucker. I'll cry at any long distance commercial, anything. Anyway, so I was thinking, what we could do to celebrate 600th episode, and I started to search through to see if I could find my original correspondence with you, because I don't know if you know how the CAGcast started, but Wombat reached out to me.
I emailed you.
He emailed me, and so I thought it'd be really cool if I could read the email to everybody.
Do you actually have it?
I learned that if you don't log into your Yahoo Mail account in a year, they just delete your whole account. So I've lost all my emails.
Well, that was a big letdown.
No, but I remember exactly. How it went down.
Okay.
Wombat at the time was working for a talent agency called Don Buchwald and Associates, I believe. And any Howard Stern fan would know that that's Howard Stern's agent. And as a big Howard Stern fan, when I saw this email pop up in my inbox from Don Buchwald and Associates, and the subject was CAG Radio, the eyes popped out of my head. I was like, oh my God. And I opened the email. Hi, I'm a talent agent at Don Buchwald and Associates, and I think that Cheap Ass Gamer could be turned into a radio show.
Yeah, this was before podcasts were a thing.
This was 2005.
Yeah,
this is the summer of 2005.
People didn't have podcasts. There was no podcast section on iTunes. There was no such thing as podcasts.
There was just starting.
Yes.
But nobody heard of it.
Yeah, it wasn't like a thing. People weren't really, listening to them en masse.
So I got really excited. I'm like, Howard Stern wants to basically do a radio show with this. What I read from the email. So he's like, I want to meet with you. Come to my office. And I was like, oh my God. I'm just like, I can't believe it. I told my wife, like, oh, it's Howard. I'm going to be on Howard Stern. Like, so we make an appointment and we met at your office the first time, right?
Yes.
And Wombat wasn't exactly like the high man on the totem pole.
I was not. I was also 20.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like Don Buchwald is up here repping Howard Stern, and Wombat, you were probably just starting out. Like
I was fairly new-ish, but not that new. But yes.
So the expectations. As soon as I walked into your office and I saw as a really young guy in a really small office, I was still like, ooh.
It was still someone in an office.
It was someone in an office.
I had an office. That's impressive at 24.
I wish, yeah, it was cool. But
let's not.
I know. I was pretty sure I wasn't meeting Howard Stern at this point.
No, you were not going to meet Howard Stern.
That came later, but
yeah.
Anyway, so we got to talking. Wombat said, I really love the website. And I think we could really do something. And he had access to a studio in the office because they did a lot of voiceover work.
Yeah, we did. It was a professional, high-end, full-on, real recording studio.
And we just recorded like a 5-minute.
It was 12 minutes.
12 minutes. We waited till everybody left the office, like work was over, and we just went there and we had the whole place to ourselves.
Yep.
And we did only like a few episodes, and then
we did like almost the first full year was there.
But do you remember, like, we made a demo?
Yes.
We made a demo after we did a couple episodes, and you got it to Don Buchwald.
He did listen to it, and he loved it. That is a fact. He did. I did get Don Buchwald to listen to our demo. Don Buchwald did love our demo.
This is the worst part of all. I wish he never told me this.
And he asked someone.
He said, like, we should sign these guys up.
These guys are great. We should sign them up. Who are they? And then Mark, who I guess last name redacted, I don't know. You never know. He's still a nice guy. We're still friends. Mark said, who was working with Don at the time, said, oh, and he's Stuart from downstairs and his friend. And he goes, oh, then never mind. Because I was an employee there, he didn't want to bring me on as a client.
It sends the message that, hey, you could be working.
So I kind of shot, although it didn't really end there, because even though Don was the big cheese, and he did love the show, which is a high compliment, big cheese.
Yeah.
There were other agents there who worked in radio that actually did go out and try to get something going. It just
never happened.
It was the end of talk radio. I mean, how many talk radio shows really start now?
But we did make like a lot of marketing materials. I found all of those, but they were really I would have brought them, but they were really straight and boring.
Oh, that's not fun.
Which is probably why nobody ever did anything.
Yep.
But I don't know. So that's how I met Wombat, and that's how the CAGcast got
Remember
started.
when Electronics Boutique almost came on board as a sponsor for the whole
We mailed that. I did find that email.
Yeah, we had a call with them with super agent whose name I won't say at all, but he actually got on the phone with them, and I got pretty far. And then what happened there? The reason why that fell apart is because Electronic Critique was bought by GameStop.
Right. We had a lot of bad luck.
Yeah, it really is. It was just bad breaks.
But,
otherwise, not that this is so terrible.
Right. Yeah. I'm happy to go to any game show that's 20 minutes from my house. It's
exactly.
Like pretty fantastic.
Hang out with everybody. It could have been a lot worse.
But Ship, how did you find out? So Ship was a moderator on. Well, first, how did you find out about Cheap Ass Gamer?
I found out about Cheap Ass Gamer through GameFAQs. There was you had people going on there.
It was me.
It was you.
Yeah. I would go on GameFAQs, and you couldn't go and promote your own website because they would just ban you.
Were you Blue Toast?
No, but he was like part of
he was one. Yeah, okay.
You knew.
Okay.
But what you could do, and there's no problem with this, is you could put pretty much anything in your signature. So I would just say, "Oh, come visit Cheap Ass Gamer for cheap video game deals," and then I would just post a lot, so people would see the signature, and then. That's probably how Blue Toast found out about it. And
sure.
then I probably said, hey, put it in the signature.
Yeah, and this was like maybe 2 months after the site started.
Yeah.
I started frequenting it, telling Mrs. Shipwreck that I found this site called Cheap Ass Gamer, and she immediately asked if I gave them my credit card information.
Sadly, no.
Yeah, so that was good. So
no, it's really good. They have
right. Yeah, it's great. They show you how to flip all the games at all the different stores.
Rygar's $5.
Right. Back then, they had all those clearance deals everywhere. Like, people would be, like, Circuit City would be clearancing everything out for $2.
Right.
And you'd print out the list, and you'd know if somebody was a CAG, because they'd show up with that list.
Right.
And everybody would be grabbing all the $2 games that were not marked.
Like, they knew. Right.
They knew ahead of time.
Right.
I remember printing out that list.
So that's how you found out about CAG, and then you started your own podcast with your wife?
We did
on CAG,
yes,
called CAG Foreplay,
and that was just for new releases.
Right.
So I started writing up the new releases on CAG with Nick Sutner. He was writing up like all the games that people had heard about and like the serious games, and then I decided, hey, people want to know about all this crap too.
Right. They need to know everything.
You need to know everything that's coming out that week and what it is. So then we made a podcast about that. I made my wife do a podcast with me.
That was impressive. Give her a hand. She's up there.
Yeah, she's right up there. She's sitting with Frogger.
Frogger. Give Frogger a hand.
Hey.
So you did that for like, how many episodes did you get?
Maybe somewhere up in the 50s.
Okay.
Maybe more. We did it for quite a while. I just saw that it had been 10 years since we did it last.
Okay.
But you couldn't really do that podcast now because back then it was all physical releases.
And now there's 1,000 games that come out every week.
Yeah, there's like 200 games that come out every week, which back then it was...
Are we boring you, Wombat, over here?
A little. That's okay.
You want to see what's going on in the tabletop?
I was bored during his part,
I know.
too.
I'm trying to get everybody involved.
It's okay.
We can put the cartoon back on. Hold on.
Could you?
So, and why'd you stop doing that?
Kids.
Oh. Yeah.
So what's my excuse?
You want that Harry's money.
That's true.
So, okay. So Ship had to shut down CAG Foreplay for the kids, but and then how did you get on the CAGcast?
I don't know. I went and saw the first Transformers movie.
I can answer that probably. So,
I think I remember too, actually. Go ahead.
The reason why this guy's on the show is because you weren't always available, but I still wanted to put the show up.
No,
so we did a couple of episodes.
That's not it
I don't
at
think that's
all.
right.
That's
we
not
did
it
a couple
at all.
episodes, just me and you.
No.
We did one.
Yeah. No, that's not it. You know what the real reason was?
At least two.
No, but the 2 out of 600. The real reason.
Yeah.
The real reason is that we realized Shipwreck knew a lot about games, and we really weren't dedicating ourselves to being up to date on everything that was going on.
I take that as a offensive
and I think we
comment.
saw Shipwreck as a guy, and he had legitimacy.
I know
too.
everything.
He had legitimacy as a game guy, and he's smart guy, funny guy, made a lot of sense.
Smart guy.
Made it easier for us. A guy.
He's a human being.
Guy.
Yes.
So
Access to Excel documents.
Yeah, and that it did. It's good. It worked out well because he can do the new releases for us, and
Are we ready for that?
New releases. We didn't do any new releases.
We don't have that list.
Oh, we didn't? Oh.
No.
But
What am I going to talk about? I have no idea what came out this week.
No, we're not doing
We're not doing that this week.
I know we had a couple of things that we want to talk about. Last night at dinner, Mrs. Chibi had a question for us that I thought we could sort of address, like one of the more controversial CAG moments that people don't even know about because it never aired. So Mrs. Chibi asked what was one of the most divisive episodes that we ever recorded. And I think she was sort of referring to like, oh, I like this game a lot and I hated this game. But
that's pretty much every episode.
Yeah.
Right. And it's not really divisive.
It's not. It's people with different opinions.
But right. And it's never like we never get offended or anything. But we had one episode where, and Wamba didn't really remember what went down.
I don't.
But we started to talk about it last night, but then we tabled it so we could talk about it here. We had one really bad episode where we were recording it and then Wombat and I got into a fight. And then he left the episode and we never aired that. It was like 10 minutes or so. You don't remember like why it went down?
I kind of remember.
Do you remember what it was about? Even?
Was it about the microphones?
Right.
Yeah.
Wombat had like a small technical problem with his microphone that I saw as the end of the world. Like it was like it sounded like 95% of what it should have sounded, but I don't know. It really upset me somehow because I'm broken.
Because you're
in
a
some ways.
jerk.
Right. I wouldn't like spend like 10 minutes putting together the outline for the show, but I feel like the production quality is something that we all had a lot of control. I don't know. It was stupid in my mind. But anyway, Wombat had a problem with the microphone and I was trying to get him to fix it from week to week. And it wasn't really happening because, he's got a job and kids and he's a busy guy.
He didn't care.
And he didn't care also, which is fine, which is actually like a reasonable response to that situation because it wasn't a really big deal, but I saw it as a big deal. And in the beginning of the show, I made some comment that like you didn't care or something. And then we started yelling at each other. And then like you woke up your kids or something. And I know I woke up Ty, like, yelling at, like Ty came downstairs and we're yelling at each other like, you woke up my kid. No, I woke up my kid yelling at you. And then you were just like, screw it. I'm out. And then he just walked out. And
did we finish recording? I think we did.
We did.
We went through the rest of the show.
Yeah.
That was a good show.
That part. Yeah. And I think I saved, yeah, right. That's good vibe in that show.
Good app.
Good real. I think I saved my side of the recording. But I certainly didn't have the guts to ask you for your side of the recording so I could put it together. But anyway, that was my bad, Wombat. I'm sorry about that. That was a little rough ride that you did not deserve for sure.
Apology accepted.
Yeah, even though that was like 5 years ago.
It was a while ago.
It was probably a while ago. Right. Well, we all grow, and that's how it is. So Wombat also last night when we were at dinner, Wombat said that he had a special question for me and Ship that he wouldn't tell us until right now.
So here's where I'm going because this is a similar situation. I'm sure everyone here remembers CAGcast 200. So
that's the one Romeo and Juliet.
That is the episode where you right after E3 where you decided that you couldn't confirm that you and I were actual friends in real life.
Well, it was
No. You were like ice cold clear about it. How do I know?
There better be a question coming.
How do I know that you're really my friend? Is what you said on that episode.
I don't.
So
think
now
that's true.
I'm going to ask you a quote. The question is, are you my friend?
I'm your friend, Wombat.
Yeah.
The same for Ship.
Sure.
Yeah, thanks.
Sure.
It only took 400 more episodes before I could figure that out.
Figure it out, but are you actually my friend?
Now, you went the distance. That was all a test.
Was it like at like in the Never-Ending Story?
Right.
No laser beams coming up.
You're the horse.
Yeah.
Well,
that sounds about right.
Not that I want to like dredge up.
No, this is the airing of episode 600. The airing of grievances. I kind of like it.
Right. I think my point was
Shipwreck, you suck too. All right, everyone's included.
My point was that we didn't hang out that much outside of doing a show. Oh, we scared our family away. They're going to the cosplay contest. Good luck, Link. I bought that costume. You're not going to win. Sorry. You got to make it yourself if you want to win.
Sabrina made hers. She spent like a week and a half on it. Yeah. So everyone cheer for her making her own costume.
Good effort. Good job having skill, unlike me.
Yep. She learned how to sew.
Anyway, I think my point was that I didn't know you that well at the time because we didn't hang out that much. I'd moved to Japan.
You were living in another country.
We literally
but
met.
we spoke for 2 hours every week.
Well, sure, but
some people get married on less than that.
Look, I could see why you were offended, but I'm just trying to explain where I was coming from.
No, there's no place to come from on that one.
Now we do friend things together.
Friend things.
And now we're friends.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So let me look at the clock here. Do we want to talk about like some current events? Do we want to talk about, I have like some questions from, our normal listeners.
Yeah.
Over the internet, I mean.
Pointing to everyone here.
Right. But we'll probably take questions from the audience too. Do we want to talk about like some current events like Walmart and pulling games and marketing? Is that too heavy for everybody here? No, you want to hear about that? Okay. So, of course, with the recent shootings and stuff, now that our family left, this is really good timing.
Yeah. Now we can say whatever we want.
Right. Curse and everything. So, Walmart started pulling down marketing for shooter games, basically, any games that they thought were violent. It was like a corporate directive. They still sell the guns, of course, but and some of the Walmarts actually cleared the games off the shelves and just left the sports games. I saw pictures of that.
Yeah, I saw that.
The extra distance. It's insane.
It's pretty stupid, but yeah.
But they want to sell guns. They want to sell everything.
Well, they want to sell guns. I guess there's really, at the end of the day, what's the higher markup? I'm assuming there's probably more profit to be made on guns than video games.
Well, Shipwreck had a good point about Walmart sort of being...
They just want to stay out of the spotlight currently, and they do that by then getting these games advertisements out here. But come November, when all this is passed over,
right,
it's going to be Call of Duty and Grand Theft Auto all over the place in there.
There's going to be grenades going off in the store.
When you walk into a Walmart, at least in Ohio, I don't know what New York Walmarts are like,
they're
but
the same.
Yeah, so you walk in, and the first thing you see in those theft deterrent things that beep at you are ads for video games on those. And they're usually Call of Duty or Far Cry, or whatever the latest shooter is. Like, you're seeing that first thing when you walk into Walmart. So I can see, like, as a company, the kind of the bad
optics,
publicity, the optics of, like, hey, that's the first thing you see in here.
Right.
And they're going to put the games back out. They want to make money.
Yeah.
So it's just... I'd be surprised if this lasts longer than a month.
Right, and you also
a month would be a long time. I think
there's no games coming out now.
End of beginning of September, probably.
Once Borderlands.
By Borderlands, you will walk into Walmart and see a Borderlands ad.
There will be guns. There will be video game guns.
Claptrap is going to be rolling up to you holding 4 guns, going, "Hey!"
Is he even in the game? Because didn't Randy Pitchford get into the fight with the voice actor?
He got in a fight with the voice actor, not Claptrap.
But so they just found some other guy.
Yeah, I think
that
they found some.
Not the actual Claptrap.
I know there's no robot.
They got into a fight at medieval times.
So they just found some other guy to do a Claptrap.
I'm sure somebody else stepped up. Yes.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, but you made the point last night that Walmart is sort of in one of the unique position that's really hard to boycott them. Because a lot of their places, they've knocked out all the other stores when they're like in the middle of the country. So they don't really have a lot of options at this point.
No, and it's a different clientele for whatever reason. Like I live a mile from a Walmart that's right across the street from a Target. And when you're shopping in both, it's a different clientele in both of them because you're there for different reasons.
Can you explain in detail?
As snobby as possible.
Sleeves versus no sleeves.
Butt crack versus no butt crack.
I shop in both.
Now, if I had
Do you change your shirt?
Yeah.
Sleeves off?
Yeah, you get your outfit. Which store you're going to go to.
If I had a mullet, where would you recommend I go?
Is it an ironic mullet, or is that just your hairstyle?
That is just my hairstyle.
Oh, that's a Walmart. I can't lie. That's a Walmart.
No, I'm sorry. That's the dollar store. But thanks for playing.
Oh.
Dollar General.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so here's a couple of questions from people from home. Justin writes in and writes, I recall seeing The Last of Us 2 reveal gameplay and thinking, damn, that looks good enough to be next-gen graphics. Is it possible that we have already seen gameplay for next-gen consoles? If there's one thing that I can impart to everybody, when game companies are showing off their new games that aren't coming out for a year or so, that's not the game. That's something that they made separate just to show you. That's not like a slice of the game. It's something that they made specific for this event. Like for E3, the demo they have at E3, that's just for E3. That's not cut out of the game. So don't really think about, those early reveals in any meaningful way because it's fake. Fake games. They're literally fake games. They're made just for marketing and then that's it.
It gets cloudy because some of them are from the game, though. I mean, we've played plenty of... Yeah, for the playable stuff at E3, we've played plenty of stuff where I've played that same level again when I get the game.
Right.
Yeah, those levels usually wind up in the game, but I think what Cheapy's saying is they'll basically make a FMV of gameplay.
Well, it could be playable. It's playable. It'll be playable, too.
Running through a computer.
That.
It's not running through a console,
right.
And it's like a whole separate...
It's not the game.
Yeah.
It's something standalone that they made just for that event. So always take that stuff with a grain of salt. Wombat, pay attention. This one's for you.
Oh, good. I like questions for me.
At SGN 2020 says, does Wombat think Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 would be a better game if it had not been a Switch exclusive?
I finished Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 between the last show and this show, so I'm an expert now with Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. The last level of that game is really bad. Like, it's weird how bad the last level is for a game that, for the most part, is all right. And then it sort of takes a turn at the end because it's a Diablo-style game with your favorite Marvel characters. So your concept of the game and going through most of the game is you're walking down hallways and you're beating up lots of guys. And then after you beat up a whole bunch of guys, there's one guy you fight, and then you move on to the next level. Lots of guys. The last level is, because the full name of the game is Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, the Black Order, who, if you've seen Avengers Endgame or Infinity War, that's your Proxima Midnight and your Squidward and
Squidward.
Yeah, that's what Iron Man calls him in the movie. It's those guys. It's the big guy who loses an arm.
Cool guys.
Yeah, they're cool. That's the Black Order. But they don't show up in the game. They show up in the very first cutscene. And then, they get to the last level, and they were making the game. They're like, holy crap, we forgot that the Black Order's in this game. And you just fight them one after another, after the other, after the other. And then you fight Thanos. And then there's, a little twist. And there's one more boss fight, and then the game's over. But there's no, guys you fight in between. It literally goes from you fight Proxima Midnight, save point.
They ran out of money.
Fight the next person, something. It's like they forgot how the game was, that these characters were in the game, and that's what they were going to call the game, that they had to end the game, and it's just 6 boss fights in a row and credits. And it's so weird. Because it makes no sense in context with the rest of the game. It's not fun at all. Not even a little. And you're in the first 2 Marvel Ultimate Alliances, your characters leveled up with you a little bit, like the ones you don't use. They leveled up with you as you went on. So if your character was level 40, all the other characters would probably be a level 30-ish. In this game, they don't level up at all as your other characters level up.
Everyone is useless.
Yeah, you do get these power-ups that'll let you jump up XP points, but then you have to decide right then and there, well, I'd really like to use Spider-Man now. I know he's only 12 and I need him to be a 40. I'm going to just put all of my XP that I've saved up into this one character. So now he's right where he needs to be. But then there's also, 27 other characters or however many are in this game that are useless. I can't use any of the Guardians of the Galaxy at this point unless I want to literally start from the beginning with them and level them up.
Right. So to answer this guy's question.
To answer this yes or no question.
The answer to the... hey, we've got an hour. And unless you've got something really important to talk about... it probably would have been better if it was multi-platform.
It would have had a bigger budget.
I think the budget might have been there. I don't know if it's that it's only on Nintendo that's the problem. I don't know if it's the developer that's a problem. I mean, not to be that guy, but maybe with more Western influence, it might have been better. I find for games that are based on more Western licenses, a Western influence sometimes is more beneficial because it is Tecmo, Koei. You know, it just something seems to be missing. There's something missing there.
Quality.
There's a quality. There's a big disconnect
Money and quality.
between. Yeah. So the short answer is yes. The game probably would have been better multi-platform. It is not nearly as good as it should be or could be. The first Marvel Ultimate Alliance is probably still the best of the three.
All right.
And that's a bummer.
There it is. Everybody loves... Wow.
Look at that.
You really like Marvel Ultimate Alliance, everybody. Wow. Here's another question from @Poofifer.
Pfeiffer.
Is that a video game person?
No, he asks lots of questions.
Oh, okay. I should know
600 episodes. You should
is he
learn
here?
these names.
Right. Well, that's fine. He wants to know our favorite retro game, but he quantifies that as Xbox or PS2 or older. That's retro. Xbox and PS2 are retro now?
Yeah, that's retro
Yeah, I
now.
would say that's...
Oh, man. That's
Is
rough.
360 considered retro?
No. Apparently not, according to this guy.
I can't say Oblivion. That
Do you have
doesn't
any
count?
answer for this? I mean... I don't know.
I feel like we answer this question every year.
I was just more offended that Xbox and PS2 are considered
So,
retro
what's your
now.
favorite game from the Xbox PS2 era?
Probably Katamari. Katamari is pretty cool. I like those quirky PS2 Japanese games like Katamari, Parappa, those rhythm games. Those are my jams. Well, that's PS1, Parappa.
Yes.
They had one for PS2 as well. Right? Yeah.
Talk about the good ones.
2.
Parappa the Rapper 2.
That's not as good. Do you guys have any favorites that stand out?
I bought a lot of consoles to play different versions of Tony Hawk.
Yeah.
Yeah. I pretty much... Because
Tony Hawk.
they staggered the releases of those. Like, when Xbox came out, they got Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2X, which was slight... They had, like, one more level or something.
Smart. Get that money.
So I went out and bought an Xbox for that.
Good. That's good.
And then, like, 2 weeks later or so, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 came out for PS3. Or not PS3, PS2.
Yeah.
But it didn't come out for Xbox.
Right.
So then I had to go buy a PS2 so I could play that.
You're very heavily invested in Tony Hawk.
I played a lot of Tony Hawk
Do you skateboard at all?
on Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
Right. But never? Have you ever, ever had a skateboarding thing?
Maybe for a few seconds.
Seconds. Yeah, that's my experience as well.
Yeah,
I stepped on it. I fell off. I said, nope.
I don't like to fall. Yeah, like how do you learn not to fall?
I'm so high up, too. I'm going a long way down. It's
Right,
not
Wombat. How do you learn not to fall on the skateboard?
Don't get on one.
good. Right. Wow. A lot of anti-skateboard
Right.
sentiment here.
Mm-hmm.
Wombat, do you have a favorite retro game and or franchise?
I thought we were talking just from the Xbox PS2 era.
Sure, whatever you
'cause
want.
we were having fun with that, I thought.
We're having fun.
This is a good time. I would say, because it's... Because I was thinking about it while I was pretending to listen to Shipwreck. Possibly... I would say maybe Jade Empire on the Xbox. That's a good game that I feel like they kind of dropped the ball. BioWare dropped the ball, guys. I don't know if you knew this. On everything. But it was such a great game. I know it didn't sell really well, but it was such a cool concept. It had a really cool combat style. It was unlike any other RPG on the market, and they just did nothing with it. Like nothing. There's no remaster of it. There's no sequel. It just seems very strange because it was reviewed really well. And it played really well. I mean, it's a lot of fun, but
Somehow I never even checked it out.
it's really cool. It had all the different types of different classes. I remember the pre-order bonus was the monk, so I played as the monk. And you could run into there was a British guy, like one British guy in the game, and he was voiced by John Cleese. And if you answered his riddle, he gave you the only gun in the game, and it was way overpowered, and it was pretty cool. So Jade Empire. Check it out.
Good answer.
Mm-hmm.
Should we take some questions? Can we take some questions from the crowd? Do you have a mic or something, or they just stand up, right? That's all right. All right,
Just
that's okay.
shout.
You guys have any questions? Yeah. You guys have any questions? Yeah, go ahead, right here. Okay. Okay. What do you mean, 3D stuff? Oh, that was in an arcade? Oh. I mean, I have the PlayStation VR. Shipwreck, you haven't
Having
tried
it and using it are two different things.
I played Astro Boy. It was really good. You need to try it while you're here.
Okay.
Astro Boy's, I mean, you're not gonna, because your kids are gonna be punching you in the nuts the whole
Right,
time.
right.
As soon as daddy can't see
as
anything,
soon as I
there's
can't
no
see it.
protection. Hey, look, daddy can't see or hear. Now's your time to work the body. Yeah, I'm not like super into VR, even though like I really like the concept and all. I just don't think it's quite there yet. I don't know. Was the Japanese arcade one like a step above? Like, yeah, okay. So I haven't checked that out yet. But I can see like it getting to the point where it's so amazing and the quality is so good, it's really unavoidable that you're going to want to try it out. But we're just not quite there yet, I think. Now it's still a bit of a gimmick, I feel. Any other questions? Right here. Question was about Ooblets is the name of the game, right? So Ooblets going Epic Store exclusive. And then all these people who had no interest in the game from the very start were so mad that the game was going to Epic Store, they decided to harass the developers and, just post, harass the developers. Like death threats, all the bad stuff, as bad as you could go. Because these guys decided to release their game on the Epic Store, which actually funds indie game development. Unlike Steam, which just takes a cut of the game, Epic will, to small developers, they will basically guarantee money up front to the developers for going exclusive, and then the developers can use that money to make the game. So for a game like Ooblets or a small team like that, like it's a no-brainer. You're not two people. Like, what are you going to say no to somebody literally investing in your game and guaranteeing that you're not going to lose money because there's a minimum sales guarantee? You would have to be a pretty bad business person to not do that deal. I understand the complaints that the Epic Store doesn't have the features that Steam does, but obviously they're striving to improve the store. They're trying to be a real competitor with Steam. I don't think the plan is, hey, let's just get a bunch of exclusives and have a shitty store. They want to have a real competitor. So they're going to eventually probably have all the features that Steam would have. But people need to calm down with their video games. They got to stop getting mad.
Why are you looking at me when you say that?
Because I heard you were responsible for a few of those death threats, especially the anti-Semitic ones.
Well, yeah, that's my MO, but that doesn't mean that I did it.
No. Yeah, that's
people are just mad.
Yeah,
like,
they were
constantly. They're just mad.
They're
about
looking for something
everything
to get mad about.
It seems like a silly. Again, I'm not a PC gamer, and by that I mean politically correct. That was a terrible joke.
No, it was good.
Was it?
That.
Oh, okay.
Right. For you, it was good.
Thanks. So I guess I don't get it. Like, really looking from the outside in on this one, I don't understand it at all. So you want to play this game, but to download the launcher, which is free and doesn't cost you any more and helps the people making the game you want, you're going to get angry about that.
It's weird.
Okay.
It's weird. It's not something that's worth getting angry about, for sure.
I mean, it's not like microphone quality type stuff.
That hurts.
It should.
I apologize 6 years later. Come on.
Exactly, yes. It's all water under the bridge.
No, never threaten anybody. That's a good, pretty good motto to live by. Got any other questions out there? Okay, right here in front. So the question was for the people listening at home is basically, how do you monitor your kids when they're playing games that have sort of gambling mechanics in them? How do you deal with that? Well, I'll tell you, recently, Ty had a friend come over and from out of town, and the mom was beside herself because the kid is addicted to Fortnite, and she didn't understand why. It wasn't like she saw what was happening in the game, but she couldn't get it. And I had to explain to her, she knew about loot boxes, but I explained to her that there's also the random aspect in these battle royale games where you're dropped in and with nothing, and you're opening up crates to find weapons and armor. And I know I play a lot of those games, and it definitely does something to my brain. That randomness, like, oh, I could start off this game and have like be fully kitted out and be awesome, or I could spend 2 minutes and not even have a gun. I think does the same exact thing in somebody's brain as like loot box mechanics. It's like, and when you combine that with the actual loot boxes, it's and like that adrenaline rush from the battle royale games. Like when I get down to like like the top 3 or something. Like I get very sweaty. I don't get that in other games. Like I'm physically sweating. My heartbeat goes up. Like I have the Apple Watch. I can see it. I don't think like it's not a joke. Like really, it's really true. And I think that does something to kids. Same thing happens in kids, and they're not equipped for that. And to answer the question, you have to explain it to the kids. You say, hey, look, this is what happens in these games. And if the kid's old enough, he can have some understanding of it. But
I mean, my kids play. Sabrina likes to play a lot of Minecraft, which I'm okay with that because that's fairly low key.
It's Legos on a screen.
Yeah, it's
TV.
Legos on a screen. She's really good at like figuring, like, hey, if you put this with this and this and this, it's a computer. I'm like, sure it is. Good job. So, and it's really impressive. And she makes like full houses that are fully furnished and everything's made from scratch. And it is. I kind of like that. I like that for both of them. I think that Minecraft is actually pretty cool that way.
Totally.
Also, they don't buy anything extra in that. Everything that's in Minecraft vanilla is all they've ever asked for. On the flip side of that, they do also like Roblox. And Roblox is a hellish landscape of intellectual property theft that should be burned to the ground.
And it's free to play.
It is free to play.
Loaded with microtransactions.
It is loaded with microtransactions, and everything is in Robux. Most of it is not blind, although they do sell the blind box action figures. So that's similar to like your Funko Minis, that kind of a thing.
Right. But it doesn't have loot boxes, right?
It doesn't have loot boxes in it. If you buy the blind box in the store with the action figure, there is a code, a downloadable code for like a hat. But that's what it is to buy. Nothing's blind. The Robux all go to buying specific items. They're basically past the wanting to buy stuff in Roblox phase, which is nice. But there was a time there where it was like, whatever birthday money they got, they're like, can we put this into Robux?
Right.
No, you can't. Can we please? And then it would be like, okay, here's $10 in Robux. Like that was kind of their limit.
Can Robux be my bank?
Yeah, exactly. And it's like $10. And you can't, and we also had to set the rules. Like, here's $10 in Robux. It's your favorite game. Fine. I get it. We haven't spent any other money on it. And it's not our money anyway. Here's your $10 in Robux. But if you're going to spend the Robux, you have to come to us first. And we have to agree that this is what you're going to spend the Robux on.
Yeah.
And we're going to keep track on how much you have in Robux. So we'll know if you spend it. And if you spend it, we will delete the app. So they would come to us and sit down and be like, okay, I want to get, these angel wings, and not everything would be wearable in every game. Thank you. So it's like a whole thing. It's like, well, can you wear this in everything in Roblox? Or are you just wasting it for this one-time use thing? And it was like a whole thing. So in other words, yes, it sucks.
But I feel like seriously though, the Battle Royale, there's something special that Battle Royale does to people's brains. It's just, I mean, look at Fortnite. It's a phenomenon. It's not, and all these Battle Royale games, reach this real peak of popularity. Like that's really sort of unheard of. It's because of this randomization, I'm telling you.
I think there's just that rush in general because everyone wants to hear about Rainbow Six Siege.
You get the rush from Rainbow Six? You get sweaty hands?
You get sweaty hands. You get so into it. I mean, I like posting my clips on Twitter, which, you know what? Even that's part of it now, though, too. If I get something that would make a good clip, I get super excited. I'm like, I'm saving that, record that button, hitting that Y button as fast as I can. And also when you win a match, then you get a spin of the wheel. And if you spin the wheel and win, then you can get a chance to get the blind bag.
The most obnoxious implementation.
It is pretty obnoxious.
Pretty much.
And then when you get it, you feel like you just won everything.
It made me feel bad when I would see that. It would actually tell you, if you win a match, it would tell you your percentage chance of winning a loot box. And it was like 3%.
Yeah, I was at 33% this morning. And I'm like, okay, if I win one round, there's a really good chance I'm going to get something.
It goes up like 1% every time you lose
or something? It's like 2 or 3%.
Yeah, horrible.
So I did it this morning. And yes, and I did. I went around. I won the blind bag. And you would think that it was Christmas to get a skin on 3 pistols. I'm like, yeah, this is the best thing I've ever done. So
sounds like you're part of the problem.
I am 100% part of the problem. But I guess maybe that's the key to it in a sort of a weird way is if it's going to be a problem, maybe you need to kind of narrow your scope. Like if it's going to be my problem, then it's my problem in Rainbow Six. And I've already spent the maximum I'm going to spend in that game. So at least I'm not spending any more money. And if this is the rush I want to get,
that's a game you buy, though.
Yeah.
That's a game. Like, there's a.
But I'm not paying for those blind bags.
Right. But I like, so my kids are both still younger than school age. My daughter's getting ready to start kindergarten. So I've been able to like shield what games she plays. They're all, I mean, the Paw Patrol game. We play Kingdom Hearts, Mario. But as soon as she goes to school, and these free-to-play games are what all the kids are playing because their parents aren't going out and buying them $60 games. That's like how they get everybody into these things, is because the parents will buy the console and then the kids find the free-to-play games and then they tell their kids about, or tell their friends about them.
Right.
And then you're stuck in this.
Roblox.
Right. You're stuck in Roblox. You're stuck in Fortnite.
It's also just to play with their friends. I mean, it's
right.
For my son.
Because they're not going to, not everybody buys the game. Yeah. It's the free game.
Yeah.
Which makes it really difficult. I'm not looking forward to that. I do not like the free game mechanic.
No.
Yeah. But
good luck.
I know. Good luck.
Any other questions? Right here. Okay. What dormant franchise that's been dormant for 10 years? Jade Empire.
Tony Hawk. Oh no, they made a crappy one. Dang it. I almost got through that one.
Just say Jade Empire.
I never even played that.
Robot Alchemic Drive for PS2.
That was cool.
That was a good PS2 game. Remember that one?
I do remember. I did
play that.
I did play that.
That was pretty awesome. It was a little janky, but it was pretty good.
War of the Monsters would be a good one too.
Sure.
Yeah.
Too human.
Free to play is definitely attractive to young children and their parents because the parents don't have to do anything until the kid starts pestering them for all the tchotchkes. But yeah, free to play seems to do well for a lot of these companies. Let's go right here. So the question is basically, what's the future of E3 since they've basically been dropping the ball lately with pretty much everything and leaking everybody's data. I
think the big question is, who is E3 for?
The E3 is for the ESA to make money, I think. And
is that really it at this point? But was that what E3 was for 10 years ago?
Maybe not. So I think what's going to happen is that they're going to outsource this to probably the same company that does PAX. Because these companies are positioned to run a show properly, probably not leak your data, probably, they've opened it up to the public the last couple of years, and I think they still haven't really nailed that. I don't think the people...
It's like someone there went to San Diego Comic-Con and was like, we need to do this.
Right. But not how. They don't know how.
But they don't know how.
And they don't know really what to offer the public who are coming and paying a lot of money other than standing in a line for 4 hours.
And does there still need to be an E3 that was like the E3 of yesteryear, where it was really more about press and retailers to show off their new products that might be a little more boring but more functional?
Yeah. Well, but it's a very controlled message. That's the important part of it for the publishers. Is it's not... They have a specific message that they want to get out there at E3.
And they want to track all the data from people who are seeing the message. So that's why EA is now off-site and they do their own thing and you wear a bracelet and they track your movement through the thing. Every game you play, they know who you are, and it's cheaper for them and they control more. So I really think that it's going to be a Reed Pop. What's the company? Reed that does the... Reed Pop.
Exhibition.
It just makes sense, I think.
They could ask Ryan to do it.
You got a question in the back there. Gotcha. So the question is basically the big three, Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo, seem to be working a lot closer together than they ever had in recent memory. And why? I guess the question is why? What are my thoughts about it? They're trying to lock down their spots, I think, and they certainly all share common goals that they can work towards. Whether it's, standing up for video games against political pressure, or certain you see like Microsoft and Nintendo sort of teaming up against Sony in a few different things because they're the losers.
Yep.
Sort of.
That's how it goes every time.
Yeah. I mean, losers as in Sony sold 100 million.
I'd be very happy to have the second best-selling console in the world. Like, I'd be very cool with that.
The loser, I'd like to be a loser like that.
I'll take that check.
Yes, I would like to sell 80 million of something or whatever. 60 million.
And it also helps that each one of these different companies does something probably better than all of the other companies do, and has a technology that the other companies don't have, where they can sort of leverage that. And because, Microsoft still wants to make money, and if making money means they sell their product to Nintendo.
Right. Every decision is because they think they can make more money. So they're working together because they think they can make more money. Basically. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's not, unfortunately,
it has nothing to do with us.
Got you over here. Well, the question is whether GameStop will make it to next gen. Well, next gen is next year, right?
They'll make it a next gen because they're going to make money there when they do that. And it will propel them for a couple years.
There'll be a lot of cash coming in.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be so many ads for these new consoles and everything. And, I mean, even though GameStop is failing, there's still a lot of people that shop at GameStop for games and consoles. Like, a lot of parents know that that's where you go to get consoles. They don't go to Target or Walmart. They go to GameStop. They try to do the trade-in stuff to get the console cheaper.
Right.
So, yeah, I think this is their last big hurrah.
Right. But they'll be here for this. They'll be here for, there'll be a private equity firm that
after that
buys them up.
They must come up with something totally different to survive after that.
Wombat predicted it, I think. Oh, remember what happened?
Fun stuff? Yeah. So I had, what was it? GameStop tweeted out something this week. Something about their place being fun. Our place is fun. What should we call it? And I said, well, why don't you just change your name to Fun Stop? And they replied back to me saying, we legitimately love this idea. And then immediately deleted the tweet.
Right.
So if part of their rebranding, they're becoming Fun Stop, this man called it. Or you gave him the idea.
I gave them the idea and they owe me something. I would settle for like the next gen console in the mail. That would work. So, yeah, pretty funny.
That's pretty awesome. Who didn't we hear from? Over here, CJ. Okay, let me tell you what happened with the E3 pizza cutters. First of all...
And they're called E3 cutters?
First of all, Thorbon, who runs at Video Game Deals Twitter account for me, hated the idea from the very start. He was totally against the idea. He thought it was just the most moronic, stupidest thing, and basically told me that to my face. Then turned out he was right. I gave away actually more pizza cutters than I have. So not only do I not have any left, I don't have one for myself, and I gave away 5 more than I actually had. So I had to actually go out and buy Sonic the Hedgehog pizza cutters or offer them a $25 Amazon gift card. So the $5 pizza cutter cost me a lot more.
Well, it's because you left them in your hotel room in E3.
No. Right? I just gave them away. No, I didn't leave anything.
Oh, I thought we decided that we thought Thorbon took them.
I took everything.
Oh, you
everything
did.
Came
you
home.
Did.
It's just,
okay.
I don't know. I'm not great at math.
I would have let you, the one that I have, I would have let you give to
I had
someone.
5 that I went over by 5.
I'm just saying, then you would have only been over by 4. I would have been happy to...
I had to solve the problem.
I would have been happy to fall on that pizza cutter.
You're a nice guy. Right here. I mean, it's an interesting career because you peak out like at 18, probably, right? Like you're pretty much over the hill. I was sore. I don't really care for Fortnite, but I was interested to check it. I didn't go to check it out.
I thought watching it was really engaging.
I didn't even watch it.
I really liked watching it. I did. There's something about it. Fortnite itself, which I think is very unique, the building aspect of it, because it does have that dual skill set where it's not just the mad shooting. It's also
creativity.
There's the creativity to see what these people build and how they still win is actually, I thought, was very interesting to watch. Okay. And I think for esports, that's probably one of the big keys right there. If something's interesting to watch, people are going to watch it. ABC has had a hit all summer with mini golf because they made mini golf interesting to watch.
How do you do that?
That's
how? I'm asking how.
I've
never heard of this.
I forget the other guy's name, but one guy, Rob Riggle, is one of the hosts. And
Steph Curry.
Yeah. And
but
Steph Curry, there's another guy too. Do
they electrify the greens or something? Or like... Okay, so stuff is happening.
Stuff is happening while they're playing, but they made mini golf interesting in a hit.
Like you're putting and like a football player comes out
and like tackles you. Yeah,
decks you. I like that. I'd watch that.
Exactly. So if that can be done, I think esports. I think again that's the key though, is to make it, because I've tried to watch esports. I tried to watch Overwatch, not to crap on Overwatch because I know how you feel about it, but I don't think that I never found it that interesting visually from an outsider standpoint.
Yeah,
to watch people play Overwatch,
it just looks like a mess of characters.
It does. It's
bullets.
Like, I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know who any of these people are. It's not that exciting, as opposed to something like even a PUBG, where when that first hit, that 1 versus 100, you're alone with nothing, and watching you do that was interesting. So I think that's the key, as with anything.
So even watching me play was interesting?
Yeah, and watching you play was fun and interesting, yes.
It's far from an esport as it gets.
But it's that same concept of anything can be successful if you make it an interesting production for the viewer. And I think that's sort of the key.
That adds to it, the excitement.
Yeah.
Got a question right over here. Hi.
Yeah,
thanks for listening.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Wow.
That's a good question.
That was I think we only did one, and that was episode 100.
The best chance of getting a clip show. I don't like listening to myself. Like even just producing the show.
I don't like listening to you.
Yeah,
either.
Sure. It's just, it's a common thought amongst everybody. But so I think the best chance is like if, I don't know, people submit like the clip. I don't want to go look for clips. If people tell me like what clips they want, we could probably put it together, or Shanafan could put it together. It could happen. Crowdsourcing. Yeah, I'm a big fan of crowdsourcing.
That's basically the way it would happen.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe episode 1,000. That'd be a good, nice round number.
A nice round 1,000.
We have time for like
my
one more
brain
question.
In a jar doing podcasts.
Okay. Oh, thank you. Right. Well, we'll help put you to sleep. Yeah. Oh, cool.
Oh,
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, right here. Well, I would just watch TV like I do every other night. It's basically, we've got it down, and we meet one night a week. We do it over Skype. It takes less than 2 hours to record the whole thing. And then the next morning I edit it, produce it, and it takes me less than 2 hours to do that. So it's not like a big time suck at this point. After you do 600 of them, you got the workflow down.
But who would you text with between shows?
That's the thing.
Yeah, like who would you who would you have like 90% of your conversations with?
We do talk a lot about
who would your
games.
wife yell at you about talking more to than your significant other?
I talk to my wife about video games.
Yes,
she likes to hear it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, mine doesn't. I'm like,
sorry. I'm sorry.
Thinking of classic moments on the CAGcast.
Yeah.
I was happening to use this stall over here in the bathroom.
Okay.
Right over here.
Yeah.
Before the show. And as I was going, I looked up, and there was a coat hanger hanging in the stall.
Right. Oh.
So
I think somebody just changed their clothes.
You don't think somebody was
I think that's
had a big poop?
CBD influence. Like in case of emergency, pull hanger.
Right. I will autograph any poop cutting hangers that you have.
Great.
No problem. I will, if they're clean. They have to be clean.
Pre-used.
Time for one more? One more question? Okay, right up here.
Yeah.
Never.
I mean, you own the game.
I do own the
You
game.
own the game.
Every description of it makes me question the $1.24 I spent on it.
It's the closest thing to G.I. Joe in a video game.
Oh.
But then you describe the actual game to me. And it's everything
I'm telling
I hate.
you. It's the it's good because I like that. It's slowly paced, which I think actually you're gonna like. There's no jumping around like a crazy person.
He doesn't like
Fortnite.
when you have to start somewhere and walk to get to where the action is.
You don't really have to do that
A little
either.
walking.
The maps are pretty small.
Okay.
I'll
Not that
play
much.
one round with you.
That sounds
Okay.
exciting. We'll stream
One
it
round.
too.
Did it. All right, last one, real fast. Go. Me.
That guy.
Thank you.
You're a terrible person.
There's sometimes there's a hidden message in there. I don't know if you guys have picked up on it, but there's the title of the song will have something to do with what we talked about in the episode. Yeah, there's
Spotify.
there's like a 1/8 playlist that I put together. Well, I think we're about out of time, but I want to thank everybody for coming. It was really a great way to celebrate 600 episodes. Thank you all for listening. It's really great. Give yourselves a round of applause. Thanks for coming. I mean, it's really great. Thanks. What are you doing? Shooting people?
Counting.
Finger guns?
Finger guns.
Oh, okay. Thanks, everybody.
Bread's done.
Thank
Forgot
you.
about that. I would have to record that in post.